Hey guys, I wanted to repost this old video about the one world government or the New World Order religious headquarters being opened in 2022 in hopes that it connects some dots for you guys. Now, I went to the dialogue to look about the new guidelines that are being set by the Vatican, and it's up on the screen in front of you. It says new norms for discernment of apparitions and other supernatural phenomena to come, Vatican panel says. And this is dated May 8th, 2024. And we have the cardinal up here, and it says the dicastery for the doctrine of the faith will publish its new norms for the discernment of apparitions and other supernatural phenomena May 17th, the Vatican press office says. It goes on to say in the third paragraph, the last time the Vatican's doctrinal office issued norms for evaluating alleged apparitions and reports of supernatural events was in February of 1978. So guys, they're getting you ready for what's about to come. That's all it is. They're getting you ready. They're spearheading the move for the one world government. Another thing that I thought about as well is Trump, right? He made history as the first sitting U.S. president to visit the Western Wall. Now, before any one of you guys said, no, all the presidents did. No sitting president has ever visited the Western Wall. Presidents, when they were campaigning or when they were on a campaign trail, they visited Israel, they visited the wall, or they visited one of Israel's holy sites. Trump was the only sitting president. That's why it says he made history. He was the only sitting U.S. president to visit the Western Wall while he was president. It says here, 50 years after Israel captured the Western Wall, U.S. President Donald Trump on Monday became the first sitting American leader to visit the holy site in an historic visit that saw him accompanied by his Jewish relatives in Jerusalem's ancient old city. No president has ever visited while they were actually president, a sitting U.S. president. Trump did that. Now, why did he do that? It's easy, because when you look at the back of the American dollar bill, it tells you that the New World Order would take place under a Republican administration. The United States is being made into the new Atlantis. I did a video on Atlantis. And so when you look at the phoenix bird or the eagle, it's facing towards the right wing. It's letting you know that the New World Order stuff is going to officially go down under a right-wing administration, which is why when Bush and them came in 2000, all of the stars on the Republican mascot, it was flipped and became inverted pentagrams. I did a video about that. I'm going to repost that as well. And so it all leads to the same thing, the kings of the earth getting together to usher in the Antichrist, to fight against Jesus Christ and his anointed ones. The Mashiach that the Israelis are talking about, that's not Jesus Christ. Israel and the folks there under the godship or rulership or whatever of the Rothschild family from the Balfour Declaration are ushering in the Antichrist, the Mashiach. The red heifers and the rebuilding of the temple is for the coming Antichrist, not for Jesus Christ. So it's important that you guys understand that. All right, let's get to it.
An Israeli rabbi has claimed that the biblical prophecy of Balaam, which says that the appearance of a new star will precede the coming of the Messiah, matches an astronomical event that scientists predict will occur in 2022. Although the Jewish faith does not believe that Jesus is the Messiah, some Christians have interpreted the rabbi's prediction as proof that Jesus' second coming will occur in 2022. Rabbi Yosef Berger of King David's tomb on Mount Zion claimed that biblical prophecy of Balaam and Jewish esoteric sources show that the astronomical event predicted for 2022, the collision of two stars to form a brand new star in the night sky, will herald the arrival of the Messiah. The astronomical event fulfills an ancient prophetic sign of the coming of the Messiah, the rabbi claimed, according to Breaking Israel News. Rabbi Berger claimed that Balaam's prophecy and other Jewish mystical sources say that the coming of the Messiah will be preceded by heavenly signs involving multiple stars. The ancient prophecy of the arrival of the Messiah matches recent predictions by astronomers that a dazzling display from a red nova explosion will appear in the sky in 2022, following the collision of two faint stars in the constellation of Cygnus, according to the rabbi.
Want to tell the Rebbe the words of the new song that we're singing with Mashiach, right? So I'm just going to read him. Am Yisrael, have no fear. Mashiach will be here this year. We want Mashiach now. We don't want to wait. Okay? We want Mashiach now. We want Mashiach now.
And there's so much deception going on in the world. It's so crazy out there right now, even in so-called truth communities where you'd think you'd be safe, right? Even in different religious communities where you'd think people are going to be good people and trying to tell the truth. I mean, there's deception everywhere. It's all over the place. So these are crazy times, and these are times where we need to use our critical thinking, our logic, our reason, our spiritual discernment in all things.
Hey guys, Electron 101, and here is the video of, this is the 27th here, I do believe. I'm almost positive this is the 27th. This is at the Wailing Wall. This is that Josiah ben David that they're claiming is Israel's new Messiah. This is really crazy. You can see here they're like pushing on this guy like he is somebody super duper important. Look at this. And they're like crowding him. People are going crazy around this guy. And this is only in Spanish. I have not found this at all in English. This is all in Spanish. This is at the Wailing Wall here. There he is at the Wailing Wall. He's here praying. Everyone's surrounding him. They're saying that this is Josiah ben David, their Messiah. This is at the Wailing Wall. This is unheard of. This is what people that know anything about Israel was going on. And this is this guy right here. This guy right here. Hang on a second. Why is it this stopping? Hang here. Here we go. Hang on. Let me see here. Sorry about that. This guy right here is a head rabbi right here. For him to be here, this guy's 30 years old. For this rabbi to be here to say that this is okay is unheard of. This is wild. At the Wailing Wall with all of these students, all these people here, and this rabbi and these other rabbis in here, they represent hundreds of thousands of people. In some cases, millions of people. And their organizations are massive, and they produce literally millions of students through the years. And for this head rabbi right here to let this guy pray at this very special place, this is where the rabbi comes in, and this is where they preach, they talk, they do all their stuff, is right here at this desk at the Wailing Wall, right here. For that rabbi to be doing that, sitting there, letting this guy do this is really it's unbelievable. And look at all the people lined up to try to get in here. I know there's a lot of critics saying that this guy is, not the guy, all this kind of stuff. But this guy, this is the 27th. This is Passover.
Hey, YouTube world, harvest is plenty. I am back. Got some exciting information for you today. First, let me say I wish you and your loved ones a happy holidays. I hope you guys are doing well. Hope everybody is peaceful, joyous, healthy as we prepare for this new year of 2022. If you understood what was going on in the introduction, there's a lot to unpack there as the world is preparing for their coming Messiah, this false Antichrist figure. Guys, we're there. We're living during the end times. I know a lot of people don't believe it. There's many who still disagree and debate it. But all the signs are pointing, and as scripture confirms it, we're there. I mean, next year, today is what? December 29th. Within a few days, we'll be leaving 2021 and moving into the year 2022. And next year, the New World Order religious headquarters will be opened in Abu Dhabi. Yes, they're opening up a New World Order religious headquarters in 2022. And for those of you who don't understand the significance of this, that means that they're getting ready to kick this grand New World Order thing off very, very, very soon. See, the New World Order, as I've always talked about on my channel, is composed mainly of three major parts or components. Now, there are a whole bunch of other components too, but they have three major components. And the other components kind of feed into these three. One, a one-world government. Two, a one-world currency. Three, a one-world religion. Those three components make up what is called the beast system of Babylon in the book of Revelations. See, Babylon is a system. They've never had this system before in history come together like this. But it's forming now. And to get to that, it has to be a lot of chaos and destruction first before their order is achieved. It's order ab chaos. Motto of the 33rd degree of Freemasonry is order ab chaos. It's Latin. It means order out of chaos. So before they could achieve their world peace and their order, they have to have chaos and destruction. And like the Egyptian phoenix bird that flies up to the sun, it burns up, it falls down to the ground in the flaming fire, and from its ashes a new bird is reborn. The world needs to go through a rebirthing period where everything that God has set for us, God's moral authority, God's moral law, the old world will be destroyed, a new world will be reborn. And in this new world, we're going to have a one world religion, and we're going to focus on that. So I've completed this video already, and I realized that it was too long, so I just edited it and I'm redoing it again to try to shorten it. So 2022, this thing is going to open up in Abu Dhabi. It is being spearheaded by the Pope, Pope Francis. Yes, the Catholic Pope Francis is spearheading the move, this economical move towards a one world religion. Now that's hard for a lot of people to believe, especially if you're a Catholic. But if you understand prophecy, biblical prophecy, the Pope is the false beast, the false prophet in the beast system. It's written. Study to show thyself approved, workman unto the Lord, and you'll be able to see these things. So let's take a look and read a little bit about this. It says a one world religion headquarters is set to open in 2022. The headquarters will be called the Abrahamic Family House and is being built on an island in the Middle Eastern city of Abu Dhabi. And so, let me read the second paragraph. It said the headquarters is being done in collaboration with Pope Francis and Sunni Muslim leader Sheikh Amin al-Tayyib after they both signed a global peace covenant called the Document of Human Fraternity for World Peace. So Pope Francis and his Sunni Muslim leader signed a global peace covenant called Document of Human Fraternity for World Peace. And so this is what it's supposed to look like. And one center is supposed to be for Muslims, another center is supposed to be for Judaism, and another building or center supposed to be for Catholicism or Christianity. And so the whole purpose of a one world religion is the belief in universalism, which is a Freemasonic principle. And that principle is all religions are basically the same, and they are going to lead to the same destination. Now, if you believe that, I have a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you. That is a lie. Our religions are not fundamentally the same. They're all exclusive. They're not the same. I'll give you an example. In Islam, they say that you should follow Muhammad and Allah. Pray a certain number of times a day, and you will end up in paradise. Christianity teach that you cannot be saved by works at all, but by faith in Jesus Christ. He's your salvation. He's the only door to heaven. Hinduism teach reincarnation, and they have 1,000 gods. So they don't even teach that you're going to go to an afterlife and go to heaven or to paradise. They teach you're going to come back. So to say that all religions lead to the same place is absolutely false and a lie. See, with Freemasonry, they teach this thing called universalism. And it's based on liberty, equality, and fraternity. And Pope Francis is a Freemason. And that's why he's pushing this fraternity and bringing all the religions together. We look here. It says the UAE vision of interfaith harmony takes shape in Abrahamic House of Fraternity. The design was unveiled in New York, and it brings together the mosque, the church, and the synagogue in one setting. And this is just the beginning. They're going to bring in and incorporate all the religions. Everything's going to be agreed to be good. It's part of the beast system. So they're going to bring in witchcraft. They're going to bring in Hinduism. They're going to bring in Buddhism, Luciferianism. Everything's going to be brought in. Taoism. And it's going to say that no one religion is above the other. Now, I have no problem with anybody practicing their religion. None at all. You can believe whatever you want, so don't think that I have a problem with that. I do not. But as a Christian, I believe in Jesus Christ as the only door to salvation. And if you believe otherwise, then we have the freedom to believe those things. And I would never stop you from practicing what you believe. I believe what I believe, you believe what you believe. I have no problem with that. But what they're doing is they're coddling all the religions together, cobbling them up together. This fraternity movement being spearheaded by the Freemasonic Pope. And then the Pope is going to turn all this over to the Antichrist, who's going to say, worship me, follow me, take my mark. That's where we're headed. And they're kicking this thing off in 2022. Now, here's Pope Francis. Before he was Pope, doing the Master of the Second Veil Masonic hand sign. Here's Pope Francis after he was Pope, doing the Master of the Second Veil hand sign. I mean, what more could you want? The Freemasons in Spain, their major lodge, they're happy and their claim is new cyclical. Because he calls for universal fraternity. As I said, Freemasonry is about liberty, equality, and fraternity. That's a brotherhood deal. And it says here, in a statement this week, the Grand Logia proclaimed, and this is the Grand Logia is Spain's main Masonic lodge. Excuse me. And it said, in a statement this week, the Grand Logia proclaimed that in 300 years of modern Freemasonry, it has been based on a universal fraternity of human beings who call each other brothers and sisters despite their respective creeds, ideologies, skin color, social background, language, culture, or nationality. This principle, the statement read, clashed with religious fundamentalism on part of the Catholic Church, which issued severe texts condemning the toleration of Freemasonry in the 19th century. It goes on to say that the statement claimed that the Pope's most recent encyclical demonstrates how far away the present Catholic Church is from its former positions. So it's saying that the Pope, this Pope, is so different than all the past popes that it's moving in line with the Brotherhood of Freemasonry, with the fraternity of Freemasonry. And we see why. Now, I have some video to share with you. And so, what's important for you to understand is that the pandemic is being used to bring about this one world religion, this one world government, this one world currency. The pandemic wasn't by accident, it was planned. It's part of the Hegelian dialectic. Remember? Problem, reaction, solution. So these people have things and ideas that they want to bring out into the world forefront, but they just have to find a way to do it. And the pandemic was their way to do it. And so they're shutting down the economy and destroying the small businesses. They're destroying the global supply chain. They're doing it all. And so you're going to hear the Pope say, or you're going to hear the guy report that the Pope feels that the pandemic will allow him to reshape the religious views of the world. That when this pandemic ends, this pandemic, it gives him and others a chance to reshape their religious views across the world. The same way Klaus Schwab said we need to rebuild our supply chain. We need to rebuild our financial structure and everything because of this pandemic, the Great Reset. But check this video out and listen closely what is being said.
This historical gesture between Pope Francis and the great Sunni Imam of Al-Azhar, Ahmed Al-Tayeb, is beginning to show concrete results. The Higher Committee for Human Fraternity presented their first major project while in New York. This initiative is a tribute to Abraham, whom Jews, Christians, and Muslims see as a common father. It's called the Abrahamic Family House. It's a complex that will integrate a church, mosque, and synagogue, which for the first time will share a collective space for dialogue between the religions. It was designed by architect Sir David Ajavi and seeks to deepen relationships between religions, as well as nurture the values of peaceful coexistence between thoughts, nationalities, and cultures. The church within the complex will be the second church in Abu Dhabi. In this country, of its 9,500,000 inhabitants, 10% are Christians. The complex will maintain an independent structure for each religion and will have a shared space for meetings. The modern design is thought to be a lasting space for future generations of Jewish, Catholic, and Muslim.
The Vatican announces Pope Francis will sign a new encyclical on October 3rd in Assisi. The papal letter focuses on human fraternity and social friendship. This will be the Holy Father's third encyclical, and it is entitled Fratelli Tutti, which is Italian for all brothers. The last encyclical published was Laudato Si back in 2015. Joining me now is Andrea Gagliarducci, Vatican analyst for EWTN News. Andrea, so good to see you. So tell us, why is Pope Francis publishing a new encyclical now?
Well, Pope Francis has been reflecting during these months of lockdown about how the world should be designed after the coronavirus crisis. And this is why he wrote a series of notes that turned to be an encyclical, and that's why he's going to publish it on October. October the 3rd is going to sign it. We don't know when it will be released, actually. Still, it's not announced. But, you know, all his reflections went into this encyclical that will likely outline the world after the coronavirus.
Andrea, can you talk a little bit more about the theme and why it was so important to Pope Francis?
Well, the encyclical will be called All Brothers, and it's about fraternity. We know that Pope Francis last year signed a declaration on human fraternity with the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar, that is a Sunni university, Muslim Sunni university in Egypt, and it's one of the main authorities for the Muslim world. And this declaration became very important to Pope Francis. He used that as the guideline of his diplomatic activity. He gave it as a gift to every head of state that went to meet the Pope. So this declaration became the guidelines of this encyclical too. And this is also one of the reasons why Pope Francis is going to Assisi to sign this new encyclical, because St. Francis is the saint of fraternity.
And can you talk to us a little bit more about why the Holy Father chose Assisi?
Well, the Holy Father chose Assisi because, as I said, St. Francis is the saint of fraternity. He's going there on October the 3rd. That is actually the day when St. Francis died. St. Francis died on the evening of October the 3rd, so it's considered the 4th because it's the Vespers. He will celebrate a Mass, and it's important because everything will be, how can I say, like framed into a Franciscan idea, Franciscan word of fraternity. St. Francis was the saint of fraternity. St. Francis was the saint of the relation with nature, with the creation. All of these themes will be into the encyclical, as well as the themes of the economic. And St. Francis also developed a reflection on economics. Pope Francis will be in Assisi again, virtually, not in presence, for a great event that is called the Economy of Francesco in the end of November.
And Andrea, lastly, can you remind us once again of the significance of an encyclical?
Well, the encyclical is a letter that the popes address to the whole Christianity. So it's very important because it's not a letter just concerning one local church or one local problem, but it's something that is addressed to the whole church. We know it's a pastoral letter, but pastoral letters generally have a local impact. The encyclical is broader. And we might say that since John the 23rd, the encyclicals are not just addressed to the Christianity, but also to all the men of goodwill all over the world, all the men that want to follow what the church is saying.
Well, Andrea, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Andrea Gagliarducci, Vatican analyst for EWTN News. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Okay, so there you heard it. You know, what they're trying to do, their goal and their aims. Now, I know people are going to say, well, what's wrong with achieving world peace? You know, world peace is good. And all religions have been fought over, all wars have been fought over religion. Well, that's a lie, too. All wars have not been fought over religion. So stop parroting. People parrot things that they've heard, you know, because it suits them. But that's not the truth. Another thing, they're trying to achieve peace without the Prince of Peace. And if you don't know who the Prince of Peace is, the Prince of Peace is Jesus Christ. And so one of the things in this New World Order religious headquarters is that Christians will not be able to convert anybody. You can't even speak about Jesus in this new center that they're building. You just talk about the teachings and the universal principles. But to say Jesus Christ is the only way is completely off limits. You can't do that in this coming New World religion and in this coming center in 2022. You can't say Jesus saves. I talk about the cross and the resurrection, about his stripes, you know, we are healed, about his blood. We can't talk, you know, you won't be able to talk about that. You just keep oh, Jesus is love, he loved you, and, you know, he said we are all gods, and all of these things, you know, the new age stuff. But they're trying to achieve peace without the Prince of Peace. Look at the book of Isaiah 9:6. Now, the book of Isaiah was written over 400 years before Jesus was born, you know, when he came down in his incarnate form. It says, for unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. That's all the names of Jesus Christ. Wonderful Counselor. Jesus Christ is also called the Mighty God, for those of you who may ask. He's also called the Everlasting Father, for those of you who still may ask. And he's also called the Prince of Peace. The child is born, unto us a son is given. And so, with this one world religion and this new world order, they're trying to achieve world peace without Jesus Christ. You can't have peace without the Prince of Peace. It's kind of like the schools. They took prayer and stuff out of the schools, and then they wonder why the school shooting started and why so much violence and sex and all this other stuff in the schools. Well, you took out peace, and now you want peace. You can't have that. And so they're working their way to achieving what is called a false peace. It's going to be fake because it's built on quicksand. That's why here, 1 Thessalonians 5:3 said, "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." Read that again. For when they shall say peace and safety. See, scripture was written thousands of years ago. And they knew at the end times that this was going to happen. That's going to try to achieve a false peace, world peace, without the Prince of Peace. But their peace is mankind can do whatever they want. Do as thou wilt. Aleister Crowley motto. Remember Aleister Crowley? Do as thou wilt. Their peace is kick Jesus out, kill off his saints and those who believe that he's the only way, and let mankind do as thou wilt. So if you want to practice bestiality, you can do it. If you want to practice pedophilia, you can do it. If you want to practice witchcraft and cast spells and do all of that stuff, you can do it. If you want to practice cannibalism, you can do it. Polygamy, you can do it. Man will not be restrained from nothing under this new so-called world peace. But that's where we're headed, and they're kicking this thing off 2022. So I just wanted to just drop that information off to you. You know, you may disagree with me, but they're telling you what they're doing. They're kicking this thing off in 2022, guys. And so if they're opening this thing up in 2022, we may not have much time left before the Great Reset happens, before they take the grid down, take the stock market down, World War III happens. And just know it's going to be destruction and chaos first before order is restored. So prepare yourself, pray without ceasing, gird your loins, because it's going to get crazy and it's going to be rocky. So that's all I have for you until my next video. Thank you. Take care. God bless to you and your family.